There is a quiet truth about aging that we don't often discuss. It isn't about the major health challenges, but about a subtle, slow dimming of a certain kind of light. A feeling that our purpose, once so clear and demanding, has become softer, less defined. This isn't a failing. It is a profound biological shift. Our brains, which for decades were wired for career, for parenting, for building, can find themselves in a new, unmapped territory. But compelling new research reveals that one of the most powerful ways to reignite the very brain circuits responsible for joy, motivation, and resilience doesn't come from a pill or a complex new regimen. It comes from the simple, ancient act of sharing a story with a child. Today, we will explore the remarkable science of how reading to a grandchild, a neighbor, or a student volunteer not only benefits them, but fundamentally rewires your own brain for happiness and health. We'll uncover how this single activity releases a cascade of protective hormones, reduces stress at a cellular level, and builds a stronger, more connected mind. This isn't just a heartwarming idea. It's a practical, powerful tool for your well-being. Stay with me as we walk through the science, step by step. I'm Dr. Daniel Bennett, and it's a privilege to welcome you to our space, where we explore the science of healthy aging with clarity and compassion. If you believe that our later years can be a time of vitality and meaning, I'd like to invite you to join our community. A simple click on the subscribe button lets us continue this journey together, sharing evidence-based guidance you can trust. Let's begin with one of the most powerful molecules in your body, a hormone called oxytocin. Many people know it as the love hormone or the cuddle hormone, often associated with new mothers and their babies. But that's a very limited view. Oxytocin is, more accurately, the hormone of trust, safety, and social bonding. It's the chemical messenger that tells our nervous system, you are safe, you belong. As we age, opportunities for this kind of deep, simple connection can sometimes become less frequent, leading to feelings of isolation or a low-grade loneliness we can't quite put our finger on. This is where the magic of reading to a child begins. When a small person curls up beside you, their warmth against your arm, both of you focused on the same colorful page, your brain receives a powerful signal. That signal triggers the release of oxytocin from your pituitary gland. This isn't just a feeling. It's a physiological event with profound consequences. Oxytocin's primary job is to counteract cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. Think of cortisol as your body's alarm system. It's useful when there's a real danger, but when it's ringing softly all day long due to worry or loneliness, it creates wear and tear. Oxytocin is like a skilled technician who arrives and calmly switches that alarm off. The mechanism is beautifully simple. When oxytocin flows, it has a direct calming effect on the amygdala, the fear center of your brain. It also promotes the widening of blood vessels, which can lead to a gentle, measurable decrease in blood pressure. So, that feeling of warmth and calm that spreads through you when you're sharing a story is your biology at work, actively protecting your cardiovascular system and calming your mind. The solution, then, is to create opportunities for this to happen. It doesn't have to be a grandchild. Many local libraries or elementary schools have volunteer reading programs. Even reading to a child over a video call, where you can see their face and they can see yours, has been shown to stimulate a degree of this hormonal release. The key is the shared, focused attention. Aim for just 15 to 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week. The goal isn't to finish a certain number of books, but to foster a moment of shared presence. A gentle safety note: the most important thing is comfort for both you and the child. Find a supportive chair. If a child is fidgety, don't force it. Try again another time, or perhaps switch to just looking at pictures together. The tangible benefit you'll start to notice is a feeling of being more settled. The background hum of anxiety may quiet down. Over time, this consistent practice can contribute to more stable blood pressure and a greater sense of emotional resilience. You are, quite literally, creating a biological buffer against stress, one story at a time. This calming effect is just the beginning. It sets the stage for another, equally powerful shift in your brain chemistry. Now let's talk about purpose. After a lifetime of work, raising a family, and meeting responsibilities, retirement can present a quiet, nagging question: what now? This isn't about being bored. It's about the loss of a structure that, for decades, gave you feedback that you were useful, that you were contributing. That loss can have a direct impact on a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is often misunderstood as the pleasure chemical, but it's more accurately the motivation molecule. It's the neurochemical that drives us to seek, to learn, to achieve. It's the feeling of anticipation when you're about to solve a puzzle, or the satisfaction of completing a difficult task. When our daily roles change, our brain's dopamine circuits can become a bit sluggish, leading to apathy or a flatter mood. Reading to a child, especially an early reader, is one of the most effective ways to reactivate this entire system. This is because you are not merely a reader, you are a teacher. You are a guide. When you point to a picture and say, "Look at the big red balloon," and you see the child's eyes widen in understanding, your brain registers that as a successful achievement. When you help them sound out a word, CAT, and they say cat, for the first time, your brain delivers a pulse of dopamine. This is the reward circuit in action. You have successfully transferred knowledge. You have made a tangible difference. This is a profoundly different experience than consuming entertainment for yourself. Watching a film or reading your own book is enjoyable, but it is largely a passive intake of information. Teaching, in contrast, is an active, goal-oriented process. You are constantly monitoring the child's engagement, adjusting your tone, answering their questions. Your brain is working to achieve a clear goal: comprehension and connection. This process is a feast for your dopamine system. It tells your brain, what you are doing matters. Keep doing it. To harness this, shift your mindset from reading to a child to exploring with a child. Pause and ask questions. What color is the dog's collar? Or why do you think the little rabbit is sad? Encourage them to point to things on the page. For slightly older children, take turns reading a sentence or a page. This collaborative effort enhances the feeling of shared accomplishment, which doubles the potential for that satisfying dopamine release. If this explanation is making sense, a quick tap on the subscribe button ensures you'll get our next video on practical ways to support brain health. The tangible benefit here is a noticeable lift in your mood and motivation. You may find yourself feeling more energetic, not just during the reading session, but for hours afterward. This renewed sense of purpose can become an anchor in your week, a positive event that your brain begins to anticipate, priming those dopamine circuits and making it easier to engage in other activities you enjoy. You're not just fighting boredom. You're rebuilding the very neural pathways that create a zest for life. This mental engagement also provides a powerful workout for your brain's cognitive functions. This leads us to a concern that is on the minds of many of us as we get older: cognitive health. We worry about memory, focus, and keeping our minds sharp. For decades, the advice has been to use it or lose it, often leading people to solitary activities like crossword puzzles or Sudoku. While these are certainly beneficial, they only exercise a narrow set of mental muscles. Reading aloud to an engaged audience, however, is what neuroscientists might call a whole brain workout. Let's break down what's happening in your brain during this simple act. First, Your visual cortex is working to decode the letters and words on the page. Simultaneously, your language centers, like Wernicke's and Broca's areas, are processing the meaning and constructing grammatically correct sentences. Then, your motor cortex gets involved, coordinating the complex movements of your tongue, lips, and diaphragm to produce clear speech. But it gets even more complex. You're also using your prefrontal cortex to manage what's called social cognition. You are reading the child's facial expressions and body language. Are they engaged? Confused? You adjust your pace, your tone, and your emotional inflection to keep them connected to the story. This is the very essence of neuroplasticity in action. Neuroplasticity is your brain's incredible ability to form and reorganize synaptic connections, especially in response to learning or new experiences. Each time you engage in this complex, multi-layered task, you are strengthening the neural pathways between different regions of your brain. Think of it like this. A crossword puzzle is like doing bicep curls. It's a good, isolated exercise. Reading to a child is more like swimming. It engages your arms, legs, core, and breathing all at once in a coordinated, fluid way. This builds what is known as cognitive reserve, a dense network of neural connections that can help your brain be more resilient to age-related changes. Now, this is a good moment to address a common myth. The myth is that brain health is all about hard, analytical puzzles and memory games. While those tools have their place, a growing body of research suggests that socially and emotionally rich activities are even more protective for the aging brain. It's the potent combination of cognitive effort and heartfelt connection that creates the most robust and lasting benefits. It's not just about what you know, it's about how you share it. To maximize this benefit, choose a variety of books. Simple picture books are wonderful for connection, but occasionally introducing a book with a richer vocabulary or a more complex story gently pushes your brain out of its comfort zone. Try using different voices for the characters. This small act of performance requires your brain to hold multiple identities in mind, flexing your working memory and cognitive flexibility. A gentle note of caution is in order. It's perfectly normal to occasionally stumble over a word or lose your place. This is not a sign of a problem. However, if you consistently find yourself struggling with words you know well, or find it very difficult to follow a simple storyline, it's worth mentioning to your doctor at your next routine visit, not as a cause for alarm, but simply as a piece of information. For the vast majority of people, the tangible benefit will be a feeling of being mentally sharper. You may notice your own verbal fluency improves in everyday conversation, or that you're better able to hold a train of thought. You are actively building a more resilient, more integrated brain. Finally, let's tie all of this together by looking at the body's master stress response and its connection to chronic inflammation. Many of the health challenges associated with aging, from achy joints to heart disease, have a common, underlying contributor: low-grade, chronic inflammation. This isn't the acute inflammation you see in a swollen ankle, but a persistent, body-wide state of alert. A primary driver of this condition is chronic stress. When we are constantly worried or feeling isolated, our bodies produce a steady drip of the stress hormone cortisol. Over the long term, elevated cortisol can disrupt the immune system and promote this harmful inflammatory state. What we've been discussing today is not just a way to feel good emotionally. It is a direct, hormonal intervention to break that cycle. The act of reading to a child creates a powerful, two-pronged biochemical response that quiets inflammation. First, as we discussed, the release of oxytocin directly counteracts cortisol. It lowers its levels in your bloodstream, telling your immune system that it can stand down from high alert. Second, the dopamine hit you get from successfully teaching, and connecting provides a sense of reward and control, which further reduces the brain's perception of stress. This creates a beautiful, self-reinforcing cascade of well-being. The oxytocin calms your nervous system, the dopamine provides a sense of purpose, and together they dramatically lower the hormonal triggers for inflammation. You can think of your reading time as a form of gentle, preventative medicine. By making this a regular ritual, say, every afternoon at 4 o'clock, you are creating a predictable safety signal for your entire body. Your nervous system begins to learn and anticipate this period of calm and reward, and it can start to dial down its stress response even before you open the book. The actionable step here is consistency. Find a rhythm that works for you and the child in your life. It could be 10 minutes over breakfast or a chapter of a longer book each weekend. The regularity is what trains your body and brain to expect and embrace this calming state. As always, it is crucial to remember that this is a complementary practice. It is a powerful tool to add to your health toolkit, but it does not replace any medications or treatments prescribed by your doctor for managing inflammatory conditions, anxiety, or heart health. Always continue to follow your trusted medical advice. The benefits you may feel from this are both immediate and long-term. In the short term, you may notice better sleep on the days you have these meaningful interactions. You might feel a general sense of physical ease, with less tension in your neck and shoulders. Over the long haul, by consistently tamping down the flames of chronic inflammation, you are contributing to the health of your joints, your blood vessels, and your heart. You are using the simple power of human connection to foster a healthier environment within your own body. What we've seen today is that a single, simple activity, sharing a story with a young person, is also a profound act of self-care. It is a way to actively and joyfully manage your own brain chemistry for a happier, healthier, and more connected life. You are not just giving the gift of literacy and imagination to a child. You are giving your own brain a scientifically validated prescription for resilience and purpose. Remember that your wisdom, your patience, and your voice are not just precious gifts to the next generation. They are powerful tools for your own well-being. Embrace them. The path to a healthier life doesn't always have to be a struggle. Sometimes, it can be as gentle as turning a page. I would love to read your thoughts in the comments below. What was a favorite book from your own childhood, or one you've loved sharing with a child? Let's create a wonderful reading list for everyone in this community. If this video has offered you a practical idea or a moment of encouragement, please consider giving it a like and sharing it with a friend who might also benefit from this message. Every time you do, you help us reach another person seeking calm, credible guidance for their health journey. Thank you for your time today.